Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. You will be hearing Valerie Hamati later, I'm sure. You'll have to suffer me first. And I want to welcome all of you and say that in Judaism, we would say on such a distinguished gathering, Shehecheyanu v'kiyimanu v'higianu lazman hazeh, meaning that God has made us live, sustained us, and brought us here. And this we all know in proportion what a great moment this is. Thank you, Director General of the World Health Organization, Dr. Tedros Adhanom Ghebreyesus. Wonderful to have you in Israel. Regional Director for Europe, Dr. Hans Kluge, thank you very much for all your great work. My good friend, Israeli Minister of Health, Mr. Nitzan Horowitz. Ministry of Health Director General, Professor Nachman Ash. Distinguished ministers from all over, ambassadors, representatives, ladies and gentlemen. It is a great pleasure to welcome you all to Israel and see you all this morning here, and to open the 72nd session of the World Health Organization Regional Committee for Europe. Opening this session in the presence of Director General Dr. Ghebreyesus and Regional Director Dr. Kluge is an opportunity to praise the outstanding work of the World Health Organization over the past 2.5 years. The leadership and staff at all levels were thrown into a war zone and took charge of an impossible situation. For this, I would like to thank you all. I would add a personal note. My late aunt, Penina Herzog, served as vice chairwoman of the WHO Executive Board for many, many, many years, representing the State of Israel in this important forum. She was Deputy Director General of our Ministry of Health, and now in her capacity is the wonderful Dr. Ashi Shalmon, who I want to thank personally for his incredible efforts to bring this event and make it happen. Thank you, Ashi, from all of us. I'm mindful that this RC72 is the first regional governance session being held in person since COVID-19 swept through our lives, obliterated any ongoing agendas, remodeled social behaviors, transformed the healthcare profession. Since the moment we learned of the pandemic, virtually all global focus and resources, whether physical, mental, spiritual, or social, were diverted. This RC72 is one more indication of normalcy. Here we are, so let's get back to business. Indeed, the challenges that will be discussed here over the coming days are critical for any life-seeking community. And yet, as we drill down into behavior and culture-based health promotion, into digital health, or into access to affordable medicines, I urge us all not to hasten to declare normalcy. Rather, I believe we must thoughtfully reflect on this vulnerable moment in human history and human health. Because the pandemic has left us all bewildered, taken aback, and traumatized. Because its impact on our collective psyche is ever present. Because its long-term effects on global mental health are just barely surfacing, and it is clear that these effects must be placed front and center, researched in every WHO member state, studied in depth. Ladies and gentlemen, dear friends, I believe it is our duty to find the words to understand what we have undergone and to develop the tools with which to process and heal, truly heal from this virus. We must recognize that until the pandemic is over for all of us, it is not truly over for any of us. We must also recognize that while our medical organizations and professionals perform in an exemplary fashion, we know that the next global health crisis is right around the corner. And so, to quote Albert Einstein, a new type of thinking is essential if mankind is to survive and move forward towards higher levels. He said again, a new type of thinking. So let us prepare for this new type of thinking by implementing new types of thinking, by harnessing the power of cutting-edge technologies to protect and heal, and most importantly, by enhancing international collaboration. This wonderful forum is just a perfect example of that. On our part, the State of Israel is committed to working closely with the WHO towards enabling humanity to meet the many challenges we face. Although Israel is a small country with few natural resources, we are blessed with phenomenal human resources. These have enabled Israel to grow and to thrive, learning and leaning on our commitment to scientific excellence and innovation, as well as a spirit of social solidarity and equality. This resourceful mindset, informed with collective responsibility, resulted in the implementation of universal healthcare, which is one of our prime sources of pride, and which is based on a highly interconnected healthcare system. Israel's vast experience facilitated our successful battle with COVID as we became world leaders in administering vaccines to all eligible populations. My wife, Michal, and I were privileged, I think, to be the first humans in the world to get the third vaccine. And I was honored to do it at the Sheba Medical Center, where I entrusted Sister Nurse Lina, a Muslim nurse, to take care of that. Remember that in Israel, every child, Jewish or Arab, secular or ultra-Orthodox, of every sector and persuasion, living in the desert or in the city, is equally entitled to the very best health care, adapted to their cultural context and need. Israel is also home to countless trailblazing medtech and health tech startups pushing the bounds of human imagination. Together with European and international institutions, we can develop the breakthroughs that will enable people to live healthier and longer lives. In this vein, I'm happy to announce that Israel will be working with the World Health Organization to establish a cutting-edge center for digital health, bringing top quality and innovative care to every corner of the world. I wish to raise another issue. Ladies and gentlemen, the biased and politicized resolutions almost on an annual basis singling out Israel at the WHO Assembly must end. It's simply based on falsehood and ulterior motives, damage the work and reputation of this very distinguished body, whilst negatively impacting on health cooperation in the region. Health must be above politics, while serving as a bridge to mutually beneficial cooperation and exchange that enhances quality of life for all. Let us embrace the new spirit of peace sweeping through the Middle East following the historic Abraham Accords. Israel will continue to offer support and aid to neighbors near and far, including and predominantly our Palestinian neighbors, extending its hand to all in partnership and collaboration. Dear friends, I wish you all a very successful and fruitful conference in our beautiful country. Let us work together to learn and share insights, to implement the WHO European Program of Work, to reach the 3 billion targets and to improve and save lives around the world. Thank you all. Bruchim habayim.